Today we're going to be talking about is how to tell if a guy is using you, okay? And that's a very important thing to understand, because a lot of the times you don't know if somebody is using you until you look back and realize they were using you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times when you're emotionally invested in someone and you find out they're using you, sometimes you don't even give a fuck. You just want to be with them. So it's all about how willing are you to detach yourself from this. Like, where is your vision? Because sometimes when you want something real badly, you sort of, the scope of your vision is narrow. You know, you're not really looking at the whole picture. You're not really looking at the hidden cost of being with this person, the hidden cost of being with someone who uses you. And so if you're struggling to make the decision to leave or stay, once you find out that they're using you, it just means that, how can I say this? It just means that you're wrapped up in your own desire. It just means that you have to think bigger. And when I talk about thinking bigger, is that expand your vision from the moment and see how staying with this person will affect you in the future. You know, think in different dimensions. Don't just stay in this moment. That's what happens when you just want something right now. You know what I'm saying? You sort of don't think of the consequences. So let's get started. The first sign that you want to look for someone who's manipulating you is this. When somebody's trying to manipulate you, they will always use words to distract you. You know? Now, what kind of words are those? Words that people use to distract you are promises, vague promises. Like saying, baby Lee, I would never do that to you, baby. Like if you notice that you need to hear things from him in order to make you believe in him, that just means that you're not focusing on his actions. You just want words to distract you, because you know that if you focus on his actions, you might see a behavior you don't want to see. See what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to believe the guy because you don't want to lose him, because you invested a lot of time, or because you depend on him. So if the guy's always using sweet words to make you feel better, you know, despite the evidence of, show you, like despite the evidence of him being with a girl, you sort of ignore that and you just focus on the words, then that means you're being used and manipulated. That's the first thing, because we call that a red herring, a smoke screen. And the biggest smoke screen are words, because you can play up people's fantasy. You can talk about, baby, but I will always be there for you. You know, me and you will always be together. Remember that time when I promised you we'll always be together? Come on, I will never hurt you. And if you really want to believe the guy, you know what's going to happen? You're going to believe him. That's how it works. So sweet words, people who are using sweet words, feeding you your fantasies, is a sign that you're being manipulated and being used. The other thing is he apologizes a lot. You know, the way to get through you is not through his actions, but through his words. The same stuff. The way he wins you over is through apologizing. Say, baby, what are you talking about? I would never do that shit again. You know, that's another thing. Another thing, and this is a big one, a huge one, is that you feel guilty a lot. You feel guilty. He blames you a lot for the mistakes that he does. Like if you're noticing that you're feeling guilty for where your relationship is, if you're noticing that you're blaming yourself for your bad relationship, sure, there are things that you cause, right? But then there is a feeling of just a natural unhealthiness where he's the one that's messing up, but he is turning it around on you, blaming you. You know, for example, let's say that he promises to hang out with you today, right? And he doesn't hit you up. You know, then you hit him up the next day. You're like, yo, bitch, what the fuck were you? You'd say we can hang out with me. He's like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I got busy. And he says, why you overreacting? Why you always get mad? And then you apologize. And then you're the one who's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just thought that we wanted to hang out and stuff like that. And so what begins to happen is that he begins to train you to not confront them. You know, you sort of get trained, you sort of get conditioned to not confront them. And if you do confront them, you feel guilty because he throws it back at you, you know? And so if you notice that you're consistently feeling guilty for shit that is obvious to everyone else but you, for shit that you normally say, like, for example, if you're like, this is his fault, I don't know why I feel guilty, but I just do. That's just a sign that he's using that to manipulate you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one. Guilt is a big one. Just guilt in general is a big one. If you're noticing that you feel guilty a lot, that just means that you're just being manipulated in a huge way. So that's a big one right there. And also when you feel like you're not getting anything out of it, like if you're noticing that you're giving, but he's not giving you any in return, That's also another one. And the thing is that these signs are obvious. They're very, very obvious. But the problem is that when you have intense emotions, intense desire to be with the guy, like if you're noticing that when you really, really like someone, you're gonna be blinded. You know, you're just gonna have a natural blind spot. So what you have to do consistently is to always, how can I say this? You should rather because the thing is that it's very difficult for you to believe your mind, especially when you're blinded. So a simple thing to look for whenever your vision is narrowed, whenever you feel like, whenever you don't know whether you're right or wrong, simply noticing how indecisive you are is a sign of being used. You know, like when you don't know when to trust your instincts, when a sign that something that a guy does, when you know that, well, he's wrong, but now you're blaming yourself for something that's not your fault, that's also a big sign of manipulation. Does that make sense? And that's the biggest one right there, where when you're with someone, but you don't know whether or not you're right or wrong. You know, where obvious behavior is not obvious anymore. You know, and that's where, in those kinds of relationships, you don't want to stay in, because they sort of fuck up your instincts. You know, you sort of begin to develop a natural paranoia, and that's another one. You just have a natural paranoia. Another one will be you have an intense fear of losing him, where he sort of sometimes threatens you of losing him, and you have this and you sort of like, you say things, but you don't want to say in a way to get him mad because he might break up with you, or you don't want to argue anymore because you don't want to have that kind of argument no more. You want to keep things at peace. That's also another sign that you're being used. You know, because what happens is that they act like the victim. They put themselves in a position of, you're the one that did wrong, and because you want to please them so badly, you're willing to put the weight of the responsibility on you, when in reality it's his fault. You know, that's pretty much how it works. It's pretty fucked up and crazy. And yeah, that's it. And that's it. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, you know. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women of power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. Oh, I'm closing the channel.